Welcome to the best moneymaker in PVM, likely forever. These are Oathplate acquisition contracts, costing roughly 60 to 70 mil GP per attempt at a guaranteed piece of Oathplate. On death, you lose that contract. This is the closest thing PVMers have to a high-risk deathmatch, and I'm all for it. I saw NoobType streaming a rough version of this method while I was trying to make my bag first. Feels like the right time to drop the video. This is roughly as hard as a hard mode top solo Nilos. It is not easy, and I expect even with a massive profit, most won't be capable of doing this. A lot of people are concerned about the value of Oathplate right now. It's crashing because people are panic selling their Oathplate. I was potting this content all day yesterday for maybe 10 hours, and the price of Oathplate was steadily going up the entire day, while contracts continued to drop in price. The value of these are purely based on speculation, and not the people doing it because so few people can. For every 8 pieces of Oathplate dropped, 1 contract drops, with many of these dropped to Ironmen who won't be able to do this content and will just death coffer them. These barely affect Oathplate's value in the grand scheme, at most affecting it by 5 to 10%, even if the entire community becomes perfect. I still would like to see them nerf Oathplate, but this is a really cool system that would work well if Oathplate was not already common. The fight is the same as the Worm contract, where meteors drop through the entire fight. Yama has beefed up stats, and in the final phase there are sets of 5 meteors instead of 3, with waves being the same as the Radiant contract. He also constantly spawns 4 Void Flares that deal 70 damage if not caught in time. All healing and prayer for the fight are halved, including things like PNEX and SGS specs. The big difference for the expensive contracts is that the center meteor rags a tile, similar to re-entry for the Horn and Oath contracts. Luckily, these cannot rag the glyphs, and will instead rag a random tile outside the glyph. That means if it is possible to do the entire fight within a glyph, ragging is not a problem. Welcome to the Gridlock Gambit. This method was devised by Saxerpillar and I. Sax found the base dodging pattern, and I labbed out most of the solves within the grid. There are 2 variations of meteors, one vertical and one horizontal, with them rotating clockwise. There are 3 wave patterns, with one of these patterns forming an X outside of the glyph. These waves can also scuff and hit you a tick early, completely randomly. This means there are technically 24 variations of patterns to dodge. If we always drop a meteor on the center tile of the glyph, it is always possible to dodge the meteors within the glyph. The rare exception is a vertical meteor spawn with the Giga Waves. This means for 1 tick, we need to step out of the grid and come back in after. Luckily, he doesn't drop meteors at this time. When Yama drops meteors right after the non-waves Void Flares, we have to dodge the opposite direction to avoid scuffed waves, making it even harder to form muscle memory. We needed to find solves that work for all variations, but the timing on these solves are all different, meaning we needed to memorize many different timings and get them perfect. This is some of the hardest content I have ever done in the game, and by far the riskiest. If you drop a meteor on a non-center tile, you are guaranteed dead. If you Red X drag to Yama, dead. If you tank an off-prey, minus half your food. If you tank a wave, it drops your prayer, you get hit in the same tick, dead. Yellow click past a Void Flare, dead. You don't click a Void Flare, dead. You get bored and forget which glyph to go to early, dead. Pure focus for 7 minutes, risking 60 to 70 mil GP. This is my log so far. My success rate is over 90% with my best win streak of around 20 in a row. It is very easy to lose a couple in a row and start throwing like it's League of Legends, so I try to always take a break after 2 fails. I have 47 pieces of Oathplate in my log and have made several bill. Shout out Pure Spam for loaning me GP. I would not have had the capital to buy the needed contracts for this otherwise. Shout out Sync for letting me borrow an Ellie, which is very important for this method. I got my own now, very lucky. Shout out Sax for sticking with me and figuring this method out. And shout out my wife for reminding me to skip a glyph so a planet didn't fall on me and to dodge down. So I don't think this will be the key to the general population completing this, but it definitely is technically possible. If you are a very good player with one of these on your iron, it isn't impossible, but it will cost a ton of time and practice. Anyways, leave a like if you liked it, and or subscribe. Thanks, guys.